This is Actar's Reviews, from anime to figures and beyond.
Hey, this is Actar and you're watching another episode of Actar's Figure Reviews. Just like the figure sets for the spirits of fire and light, the spirits of darkness can combine together to form one mid-season upgrade Digimon and the original ancient Digimon that gave birth to the spirits. So, in this episode, we're going to complete the Spirit of Darkness trilogy of reviews by merging the human and beast spirits of darkness into both Raihimon and AncientSphinxmon. If you haven't seen the individual reviews of these figures, please do check them out before watching this one so that you can fully appreciate them. Let's start this off by taking a look at Raihimon. To form this Digimon, we'll be taking Loemon's base body and putting on armor parts from both Loemon and Kaiser Leomon. Double Spirit Evolution! Just like Aldermon and Beowulfmon, Raihimon is pretty much a mishmash of parts from both the respective human and beast spirits. However, I can't say he doesn't work extremely well, far better than either Aldermon or Beowulfmon. For you see, Raihimon actually has some original parts that are unique to this combined mode, and they take the form of his golden wings. Those wings are simply integral in making him stand out and giving him a very unique and imposing silhouette. In addition to that, his shoulders are all buffed out, complementing his wings very nicely. Sadly, once again, he isn't as impressive as he could have been. Because the Kaiser Leomon parts are far more prominent in this mode, the lack of paint really hurts the overall appearance. In terms of articulation, he pretty much shares all of Loemon's posability, however it's far more limited thanks to Kaiser Leomon's shoulder pieces, forearm pieces, and thigh pieces, and of course the new wing pack makes him extremely back heavy. While these combined modes are pretty awesome, the biggest downside is that there are a ton of leftover parts that you simply can't do anything with. Now, if you do want a mode that makes use of every single part, well, except the human base bodies, look no further than AncientSphinxmon. Ancient Spirit Evolution! What an absolute beast of a mode, not only in terms of its size, but also in terms of its sheer shelf presence. If you've been lacking a centerpiece for your Frontier collection, here's a worthwhile candidate. Not to mention, this mode uses up all of the parts, so you can have both sets on full display without keeping anything in storage. Assuming you're okay with having the Koichi twins standing off to the side. If you ask me, between Ancient Greymon, Ancient Garurumon and this guy, AncientSphinxmon has got to be the most well executed out of the bunch. Not only are his proportions pretty much spot on, he has very little obvious kibble, the most egregious of which being the two headpieces hanging off his chest. I really have to credit the designers. I don't know if these toys were designed after the Digimon or vice versa, but the fact that you can recreate a completely brand new, very different looking Digimon by reusing the two spirit base bodies and all of the armor parts by combining them together is simply a stroke of genius that's on the level of the armor evolution figures. It's a real shame they didn't do the same for the other spirits as well. Thankfully, most of Kaiser Leomon's parts are relegated to the back, meaning to say that this mode is hardly compromised by the lack of paint. For articulation, yeah, you're really not going to get that much. While the legs can move quite a fair bit thanks to all of these joints, the front feet can only move side to side and cannot pivot forwards and back, and the rear feet cannot move at all. The tail, being Loemon's staff, is indeed posable. It's segmented into 3 sections, and each section is ball jointed. The wings can be posed, but they detach from his body when you move them, and it does kind of ruin the look. Last but not least, he can look side to side, and up and down very slightly. While this mode is surprisingly solid and holds together well, considering the fact that he's a rather heavy mass of packed together parts, the last thing you'd want to risk him doing is a shelf dive. Perhaps his lack of articulation is a blessing in disguise. In conclusion, while these sets were released in 2 territories, they're still extremely rare and sought after. If you ask me, unless you're a super fan of Koichi, Loemon or Kaiser Leomon, I would only recommend picking up these sets if you can get them together. While the Spirit Evolving Loemon and Kaiser Leomon sets are great individually, the AncientSphinxmon mode is the absolute star of the show, with the Raihimon mode being a nice bonus. And this concludes our Spirit of Darkness trilogy of reviews. Do expect to see more Digimon content on this channel in the future, but of course, don't forget to check out my other videos featuring my other passions as well. So, this is Actar saying, see you guys in the next episode.